There's over 70 million children without access to education, and this is a massive, massive issue. But for us, the work isn't just about the build. And I know that for Cameron, and this isn't a knock on Cameron's work at all, but they focus on the build. And we focus on the commitment to the community going forward. And so our focus in the next 12 months is to build 100 classrooms and to take what Cameron starts and then continue it further with community involvement.
But are you going to accept that?
Well, no. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good to have someone who does software. But I think the real issue. I mean, it's kind of ironic. We actually matched the same number of schools around about the same time last year. We had a quick discussion about it. And, I was looking on the books, and I think we have about probably we're working in 22 countries. We're in Haiti and Japan. And, I think we're probably about 80, but I think we're probably close to probably building 100 classrooms this year as well. But the difference is we're building 100 great classrooms, and you're building just good ones. And I don't mean that as a knock. But what I mean by that is that we definitely have a very specific skill set, and it's kind of like. For a while, it was a bit like Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker, right? Because, we've been around for a long time. I've done this work. I've seen Adam his work just grow rapidly. But there's something that just kind of like twinged a little bit to me. And part of that is like, when you're working in the nonprofit space, good seems to be acceptable. And that we are incredibly lucky, right? You and I are incredibly lucky. We've been able to get organizations off the ground. And we have this obligation, and the way I look about it is when you build a classroom, you have an obligation to create a great classroom. And I don't just mean like the four walls. I mean like how is the building sustainable? How is it can be maintained? How do you maximize the number of jobs to build that classroom? How do you ensure that culture is embedded within the sustainability of the classroom? Which means like a classroom in India has nuances that are far different than one in Sri Lanka. And so when I look at your classrooms, they're buildings, but they're not architecture, But you do great work as soon as the kids are in the room. So the question is like, can you really build 100 great classrooms, or are you just going to build some good ones that you can then have a great education in?
So what I would say is we're not interested in just building classrooms. We're interested in building education. And the work that you guys do is architecture. It's not education. It's nice that you guys kind of play on the edges of what we do. But for the most part, you guys are focusing just on design, and we're interested in designing education. And so yes, we start from the very beginning with levels of community involvement, and we do use locally sustained materials and all the things that I'm sure you guys do, and you take to a level that's far deeper that we do on the build. But I know that we're new and we're young, and we're like somewhat of the new kids on the block relative to you guys. Like Cameron has a TED Prize, and I just got a Hanukkah gift last year. So.
Yeah, but you get like 8 gifts. I only got 1.
Yours is much bigger than this one. I can show you. But
I feel a real competition. I feel like you guys should sort of like stand up and throw it down.
Well, the thing is, education's like nutrition, and the way that I see, because you're in Guatemala too, and it scares the hell out of me that when I look at your schools, that's in a hurricane zone, right? So, I look at that in terms of technical perspective. But the other thing I look at is like when I hear metrics of like we get $25,000 per classroom, it seems a little bit like McDonald's, right? Meat shouldn't be that cheap, right? So education is
per classroom, but yeah.
Okay, well maybe going to Arby's, but the thing about those classrooms is like they're the foundation of which education comes out of.
Yes.
And you also have to define what is a classroom.
Yes.
So I think if I was gonna I actually believe in competitive compassion. I think there's a big problem in the nonprofit space is that we shy away from respect. And the thing about respect is like, I want Adam to do amazing freaking projects because in about 5 years, like my time is done, right? Like the baton has to be handed off. And what I don't want to do is hand it off to like a group that like is just getting started. Like you have like the opportunity to like, I see you like just on the moment of blowing up and doing amazing stuff, and you've got it on the back end, but you've got to get it on the front end.
Yeah.
So like I think I feel like I don't want to mentor you. I feel like I want to kind of, give you a quick.
Then can I suggest something? Which is, why don't we compete to build 100 classrooms? And in the process, I'll learn as much as I can on design from you, and you can learn as much as you can on community development from us.
Okay, well, I'll challenge you if you share everything with everybody.
Done. Everything that we learn, we will share across the whole space as long as you guys agree to do the same.
Yeah, money, drawing, everything.
Everything.
So
Completely open.
100 classrooms, 12 months.
I want to do one thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're in like Guatemala and Laos. I want you to do one classroom in America.
Okay.
Because the other thing I want to talk about is this is the other thing that's been egging me. It's like, people look at doing work overseas, and there seems to be a lowering of standards. And when, we work a lot on the tribal nations, and we're working in places like Detroit and St. Louis, and the schools there are about as bad as you get in some of the great schools in, India and South Africa. And so I want, like Pencils of Promise, to not only have a donor base in America, but to start correcting what's wrong here.
All right. If you guys work on us, or if you guys work on the school with us, then we'll do a school in America.
Can you guys work the school together?
Yes.
And can we help you fund it?
You find us a school in Detroit, we'll do one together.
Together, because this is such an interesting conversation to watch you guys have. Because
If you can help find the funding, then yeah.
So we have 100 schools, 12 months,
100 classrooms.
100 classrooms.
He does little schools. We do good, expensive.
All right.
They're cute.
I just want to make sure we're clear on the challenge.
that is what I
All right. We have 100 classrooms, 12 months. You guys are going to collaborate on one of them here in the States.
in Detroit.
That's right.
Amazing.